So some like, bonuses there, And Gurudev also mentioned how these songs, because this is such a sacred month connected with Srimati Radharani, then we are singing these songs which are connected with her and Vrindavan. And normally we won't sing these songs, we consider that they are too high for us. But in this month, Gurudev said, it is like we are getting an opportunity to follow the program of the higher stage devotees. Like that, like we're getting some glimpse into, and tonight we'll sing some of the Shikshashtakam songs, which are very beautiful, and like it's like we're getting some glimpse into their bhajan life. What is their service life? Where is their consciousness? What are the things that are absorbing them, and like that. We're getting some glimpse into that, and we're like following their program to some, because we're like way down here, and they're way up here, and normally we can't just like jump up there, but there's some special dispensation in this month where we're hearing and we're singing some of these songs, and through our faithful chanting, some touch is coming. So very, very special time. And also in this month there are so many special festival days. We have our Param Gurudev's appearance day next week, and then we have Govardhan Puja, and what else? I can't remember. No, I mean on our devotional calendar. There are also Narottam Thakur's day is in this month.
Today is disappearance of Murari Gupta.
Okay, disappearance of Murari Gupta. Rasa Leela also, as you mentioned. So, yeah, very special time, and we will. Gurudev also mentioned, we try to wake up on time, early, for Mangalarti in this month. We want to try to take advantage of this opportunity and more attentively engage in our devotional practice, and in this way receive the mercy of Guru, Varanga, Vaishnava, Shri Radha, Krishna. And also this month is connected with remembrance of the Damodar Leela. We were just singing the song and hearing the translation. Very, very beautiful song. It is this pastime, the Damodar Leela. It is like a beautiful, what's the word? Like an emblem of Jnana Shunya Bhakti, of Vrindavan mood of devotion and service. This. In this Satyavrat Muni, it is, actually we don't really know who he is. We don't know anything about. I've never heard anything about him from any Vaishnavas, but he was totally tuned in. And this is this Satyavrat Muni, and this song, as I recall, it's like in the Puranas. It wasn't like a recent composition. It's an ancient composition. But what I mean to say is like, Vyasadeva, and then after Vyasadeva, Mahaprabhu, they really like distilled the essence, like really made it clear this is the highest thing. But this Muni, Satyavrat Muni, who we haven't really heard about, he came across this truth. He had this realization. This is the highest plane of reality. And so he's discussing this beautiful pastime, which is so wonderfully illuminating the mood of Jnana Shunya Bhakti. This supreme, he's starting out, that this supreme Lord, Namam Ishvaram Sachin, I'm offering my obeisance to the supreme Lord, who's the embodiment of, Sat, Chit, Ananda, and then describing how, that Supreme Lord, what is he doing? He's running in fear from his mother. He's crying and rubbing his eyes again and again. His eyes are filled with fear. He's trembling. And Queen Kunti, she has some parallel verse where she's expressing how fear personified is afraid of the Lord, right? Fear himself is afraid of Krishna. Jai Mahaprabhu Jai. Fear himself is afraid of Krishna, right? It is mentioned, Abhaya Charanaravinda, right? His lotus feet where there's no fear. There's no fear there. Fear is afraid of Krishna. But that Krishna who fear himself is afraid of, he's running in fear of his mother. This is the wonderful Aprakrita Leela of Vrindavan, of Krishna. And how is such a thing possible? Here he's like putting the nail on the head, that his belly is not bound with ropes, but with the love of his mother. Bhakti Badam. He's bound. He's bound by the love of his. This is the key. This is the key. That through love, the finite, one tiny point of finite can control the infinite. We published this. I think you saw the what was it? What did we call it? The article? I can't remember. The greatest discovery or something. I can't remember what we called it. But Srila Sridhar Maharaj was discussing this point very wonderfully. How how this is the most wonderful thing that has ever been discovered, by mankind. That Sharanagati has such power that one point can control the whole. The finite can control the infinite. The small can control the big. And how is it possible? Only through love. This is the power of love, of Sharanagati. By submission, we actually gain the greatest power, the greatest control. It is so inconceivable, it is so wonderful.
And so beyond any God conception that exists in
The general theistic conception is way beyond that, But whose heart cannot, if you have a normal heart, you have to be charmed by this. You have to be attracted to this. This is why Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that, the intelligentsia of the world, they must come to this conception. It is so self-evidently wonderful and supreme. The Supreme Lord, He's the Supreme. Okay, jai to that. But if that Supreme Lord can become controlled by the love of His devotee, that's even more wonderful. That must be a higher conception. That must be a higher thing. It must be. How can we not be convinced by that?
And everybody will come to that conclusion eventually also.
We certainly hope so. Hope I can come to this conclusion. And also, this Satyarat Muni, he's expressed. So he's describing this beautiful Prakrita Leela, the mood of Jnana Shunya Bhakti, and also he himself is expressing this type of aspiration that, where Vadam Deva Moksham, and what can I don't need anything from you. He's expressing here the mood of pure devotion. I don't want any vada, benediction from you of this world, and I also don't want liberation. I don't want moksha. All I want is that this form of yours as Bala Gopal in Vrindavan may ever be manifest in my heart. What else could I want other than this? What else could be desired? This is like Mahaprabhu's prayer. This is like perfectly expressing Mahaprabhu's conception. Everything here, this worship, this form of Krishna, Vrindavan Krishna, and also this prayer for pure devotional relationship with the Lord. Nadanam, najanam, nasundaram, kavitam vajagadisha kamaye, mama janmani janmanishware, bhavatad bhaktir haituki tai. That don't want anything of this world, whatever may be attained or is considered desirable in this world, no desire for that. And what is to be free from this world, to be liberated from this world, from the suffering and entanglement of this world, I'm also not interested in that. All I want is pure loving connection with you. And also we see that there's he's expressing appreciation for this Vatsalya Ras of Mother Jashoda, and also he's at the conclusion, he's giving his obeisance to Srimati Radharani. So this is very great Vaishnava. He's perfectly expressing the ideal of Bhagavatam and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I remember when we were in Navadvip the last 2 years, Srila Acharya Maharaj, he always liked to say in this time of Kartik that this is the secret to Kartik, to follow this Damodar Leela, because we hear this, in Mother Jashoda, right? She's trying to bind Krishna, pulling so much robe, and she can't, and then finally she's able to do it. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gives that explanation, as you mentioned. It said, right, that it was always 2 fingers too short, right? And finally she was able to do it, and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he gives that explanation. Why was she finally able to bind him? What were those 2 fingers? One finger was her own, endeavor, her own effort, her own attempts, and she was, it's described like her hair is falling apart and her makeup is smearing, she's sweating, she's like really trying so hard to do her service, and so that was one finger, her own, intense effort, endeavor, and then the other was Krishna's mercy, Krishna's grace, Krishna's allowing that. He's attracted by that. So I appreciated that. Acharya Maharshi used to say that is the secret for this month. We will try to give our service more, and thereby we can attract that grace. So we will try to be more conscious in this month. We'll try to engage in our spiritual activity as much as possible. We can't do it all year round. At least these few days we can try to give more attention. Radharpu, you want to add anything? Well, we can maybe stop there, unless there's anything else.
Very nice.
And we didn't get to Chaitanya Charitamrita. I'll just read a few verses, just to honor Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's not too late. Jai Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. So chapter 15, the Lord's Poganda Leela, which is youth. Which exact age? Well, I think we'll hear that. 5 and 10. Poganda is age. So we heard Balya is referring to 1 to 5, and now Poganda, 5 to 10. Kumanaha sumanastvam hi yati yasya padabjayo sumano arpana machena tam chaitanya prabhum bhaje. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya, because simply by offering a flower at his lotus feet, even the most ardent materialist becomes a devotee. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Dvaita Chandra, Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Poganda Lilar Sutra Koriye Ganan, Poganda Vayase Prabhur Mukhya Jayam. Let me now enumerate the activities of the Lord between the ages of 5 and 10. His chief occupation during this period was to engage himself in study. Pogandalila Chaitanya Krishnasyati Suvishchita Vidyaramba Mukhapani Grahananta Manohara. The pastimes of the Lord during his Poganda age were very extensive. His education was his chief occupation, and after that his very beautiful marriage took place. Gangadas Pandit Stane Poden Vyakadan Shavan Matre Kante Koilo Suchavritigam. When the Lord was studying grammar at the place of Gangadas Pandit, he would immediately learn grammatical rules and definitions by heart, simply by hearing them once. Alpakale Hoila Panji. So this is what we hear, Shruti Dar. You hear once immediately, and previously we hear that was very common, right? And so for that reason it wasn't necessary to put the Vedic revelation into writing, because everybody had that type of capacity. But now in the Kali Yuga age, so in the case of Mahaprabhu, this must have been something quite striking, that he had this capacity, hearing once and immediately memorized. Alpakale hoila panji tikate pravin chirakale paduya jine hoya navim. He soon became so expert in commenting on the Panji Tika that he could win victory over all the other students, although he was a neophyte. What is the Panji Tika? Just mentioned in the purport that Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said there was a commentary on grammar named Panji Tika that was later explained very lucidly by Mahaprabhu. So it's some commentary on grammar. Ajayan Lila Prabhu Das Vrindavan Chaitanya Mangale Koila Vishtari Varnan. In his book Chaitanya Mangal, Srila Vrindavandas Thakur has very elaborately described the Lord's pastimes of study. Ekadin matar pode koriya pranam Prabhu kohe matamode deho ekadam. One day, Sri Chaitanya we were just discussing this the other day. One day, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fell down at the feet of his mother and requested her to give him one thing in charity. Does anyone remember? You remember? What's that? Yes. That was his request. He came and fell at her feet. Please, mother, I have one request. Can you give me that? Motavole tai dibo jatumi magibe Prabhu kohe ekadashite anana kaibe. His mother replied, "My dear son, I will give you whatever you ask." Then the Lord said, "Please do not eat grains on the Ekadashi day." Because normally this Ekadashi, it is like, again, one of these traditional Vedic practices, not connected with the cultivation of pure devotion, but more like, development of piety, like that. And so generally married ladies, they would not follow Ekadashi, because the idea is that their principal duty is to serve their husband and their family, and so they need to remain fit. And so I think actually mainly it would be like widow ladies who would follow Ekadashi, right? I think so. Also, I think they would tend to be vegetarian also. They would eat more simply in general, like in traditional.
And the older ladies, something like that.
Well, I mean, the Brahmin thing, of course, they should be, but how much that's been followed, I mean, like in relatively recent times, they would follow that. But I mean, like how much the Brahmins are vegetarian, I can't really I mean, nowadays probably not very much at all. But even like in the last 100 years, I don't know how much that has been followed.
So you say
sure.
Ekadashi was only for the older ladies?
I think so.
Really?
I think so. And I mean, maybe older men as well. But like for people who are like, active and working, I don't think they would follow it, no. But in particular, we do hear that we should verify this, but in particular, we definitely hear that married ladies, they wouldn't follow. Because the idea is that they serve their husband. But Mahaprabhu and this teaching is for the world, of course. Ekadashi is connected exclusively with the devotion of Krishna, and that connection with Krishna, that supersedes any temporary relationship in this world. Like there's that nice incident we hear of, Mahatma Gandhi, he made a protest about the Jagannath temple because they're so restrictive as to who can enter, and they won't let lower class, even lower class Indians they won't let enter. What to speak of the uncivilized Western masses, So Mahatma Gandhi, he made this protest, like you won't allow these poor people to come and see Lord Jagannath. And of course, he's right, he's Jagannath, he means he's the Lord of the universe, he's everybody's Lord, so everyone should be able to come. But our mood is not to make a social reformation. That wasn't Mahaprabhu's mood, that's never been the mood of our gurus. But anyhow, Mahatma Gandhi, he made this protest, and he called these people Harijans, God's men, Hari's people. And he said, if they can't enter, I won't enter. He made this pronouncement. I will not enter the Jagannath temple if you won't allow them to enter. But at one time he was there in Puri, and he'd made this announcement. But his wife, she really wanted to go, and so she snuck out and went to see Lord Jagannath. And he became Mahatma Gandhi, he became upset. Like, you're my own wife and you're not supporting me in this, But Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he heard of that, and he said, actually we support her, because her relationship with Krishna is eternal. Her relationship with her husband, that is a very temporary and passing thing, So she should not be bound by that, by that relationship. Exactly. Exactly. Like also the wives of the Brahmins who wouldn't give any food to Krishna, and the cowherd boys, the wives, they snuck out and they went to bring some food to them. So this same principle here. Oh, okay, I have here there's a purport. Okay, it mentions here just a widow. That a widow it is a prejudice among Smarta Brahmins that a widow must observe fasting on Ekadashi, but a woman who is Sadhava, who has her husband, should not. It appears that before Lord Chaitanya's request, Shachimata, being Sadhava, was not observing Ekadashi, Mahaprabhu, however, introduced the system that a woman, even if not a widow, must observe the Ekadashi day and must not touch any kind of grains, even those offered to the deity of Vishnu. Well, maybe I'm getting mixed up with I may be mixing up with the vegetarian thing, that I've heard of that custom in some households, that everyone would eat meat, but the older, like widow ladies, they would be vegetarian. Maybe I'm mixing. Maybe it was only with the Kadashi, maybe everyone did follow Kadashi except for the married ladies. Anyhow, there are many, intricacies to these Vedic practices. Sachi kohe na kaibo valo I kohila, se hoite Kadashi korite lagila. Mother Shachi said, "You have spoken very nicely. I shall not eat grains on Ekadashi." From that day, she began to observe fasting on Ekadashi. Okay, I'm going to stop there for today. And today we will have a full day of service. First day of, at least the first 3 days. I'm talking to myself, full seva. Focus and more kirtan, and tonight we will sing the Shikshashtak kirtan, which is a little difficult to sing, but I have some recordings of our Salt Lake kirtan crew. You can maybe for the first few days follow along and try to learn.
I have one question about not related to this, but again back to the name Damodar. We have these pastimes of Mother Yasoda and Damodar, and we sing. But is the name Damodar specifically for Krishna at a certain age?
I believe so. I believe it's referring to that particular form of Krishna and that age. I believe so. But at the same time, we also hear Jiva Goswami's deity is called Radha Damodar, right?
Yeah, that's right.
So I think that might have been a question I also had. I think in general it's used to refer to that age, but not exclusively, not only. If Jiva Goswami's deity is named like that, then must be more broad. But we don't hear him called like that so much. We hear Sham Sundar and other names we hear more. Yeah. Govinda we hear a lot. We don't hear so much. But I think there must be some broadness in all these things. I was also under the impression that Gopal is used more referring to that young age, right? But there are some cases where we see it is used for older age of Krishna.
So if Govinda is meant the master of the senses and the gods, right? What is Gopal?
Yeah, Palan is referring to maintaining, caring, protecting, like that. So that's the general connotation, as a cowherd boy caring for the cows, like that. But mostly we hear it used referring to a young form of Krishna. But I have seen some, because Srila Janardana Maharaj, he chose that name, as I recall, for the deities in Brazil. And because none of our Gurudev has not given that name to any of our deities, Gopal. And so I was a little puzzled. Srila Janardana Maharaj chose that name, Gopal. But then I asked Tyagaraja Maharaj, and he did find one reference. There is one place where there's a Madhura Ras, conception of Krishna being referred to as Gopal.
Yeah, because
So-
if he's the caretaker of the cows, he must be a bit older
Yeah.
and going out and then.
Yes, that is true, but I'm just saying generally we see that name Gopal is used referring to a younger form of Krishna.
Well,
Yeah, Bala Gopal. Well, if you say Bala Gopal, then definitely younger form. But there is some broadness, in how these names are used, we see. And Krishna has so many names. We just heard 120 of his names. And there are many more. There's Vishnu, that's Sahasra, that means 1,000, right? Vishnu Sahasra Nam.
yeah.
So Krishna also, he must have,
And it said that's given in the Mahabharata.
Yes, that's included in the
Well, his
Mahabharata.
pastimes are unlimited, so for every pastime he has a name, right? And the pastimes are unlimited.
And they were fresh, so maybe
Yeah.
there's ever new names appearing
Yeah.
as well. Well, they'd have to be if they're unlimited, right?
Yeah,
There have to be new ones around all the time.
all the time.
But then it's outside of time, so. It's just-
Rupa Nandavana, Sanatana Pala.
Yes,
Same word.
totally inconceivable.
Sanatana Pala, as in Gopala, Sanatana Pala. I think it must be the same, isn't it?
Yes, the same. The Sanatana Palana, the maintainer of Sanatan. Rupa Nanda Vardhana, who increases the Ananda of Rupa. Those phrases are so beautiful.
So beautiful.
So beautiful.
If you read what we sing in the morning, I don't know, nothing. I mean, I don't know Bengali. I cannot remember so little bit, but it's actually so much more beautiful than.
It's really nice when you can reflect on the meaning
Yeah.
of the songs. They're so beautiful.
So if you know, like you and the Bengalis and other Maharajas or other devotees, that must be wonderful to really know what you're saying.
It is very nice.
Yeah.
We can maybe go through some of the
Yeah, that
songs.
would be wonderful. Because these first songs are so beautiful. Yasumati Nanam, Jai Satchinanam. Oh, very
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Maheshri, Devidasi, would you like to sing? Shri Kartik Rataki. There's many names for this month. Kartik. Also this Niyam Seva, it is also referred to like that. Niyam meaning like a rule. So it's connected with trying to follow in more of a serious, regulated way. Niyam Seva Rata, Kartik Rata. Also, how else is it? Urja Rata, that is a name for Radharani also. Or no, Urjeshwari Srila Sridhar Maharaj, that is a name for Radharani. So I think that Urja must be connected. And what else? There are more names for that month. Damodar Rata, it's also called like that. Many names. Ki Jai. Okay. Hari Haraya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namah.
Jai. Srila Bhakti Acharya Maharaj ki Jai. Jai. Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Maharaj ki Jai. Jai. Srila Bhakti Sridhar Devidasi Maharaj ki Jai. Jai. Srila Bhakti Kalanjana Maharaj ki Jai. Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga ki Jai. Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat ki Jai. Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Mat London ki Jai. Jai. Shri Guru Gauranga Radha Giridhari Ji ki Jai. Kartik. Vrata. Ki Jai. And Srimati Vishaka Devidasi ki Jai. All the his humble devotees ki Jai.